Hi! Hello! Welcome to another episode of Bar Brunch. I am Jenny. I am your host with the most. Today we are going to be interviewing Momenti Productions, Emma Schwartz. I'm so excited for this. Before we get into that, we're just going to make a little bit of brunch for ourselves. Our egg pie for one. I'm actually going to be making two of those. Also, I have a small dog desperately trying to eat my pants right now. So that's fun. Poppy, if you could not eat my feet, that'd be so cute. Chris, can you come get Poppy, please?
I will attend that.
Great. All right. She is really trying to eat my feet real hard, and that's not fun.
Ah, this is such a fun game.
Fun game for me.
Such
yeah.
A fun game you're playing.
There we go. Thanks, Poppy. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to butter our muffin tip. You can use oil or pan if you want to. Don't worry, I washed my hands before this. And this is also just my cooking butter, so don't worry. But I have my softened, I can't believe it's not butter. And I'm just gonna rub it around. Rub it around. I'm doing since I'm only doing two and I don't want them to puff out onto each other, I'm gonna do this one and that one. So that way there's room for them to grow and they don't attack each other. And also I don't want to do just one side because then it's going to become really lopsided when they get taken out of the oven. Okay, that's done. And this is a very easy, simple recipe, by the way. It's for those who want to look fancy, but don't have the energy or the time. Who has the energy or the time to be fancy right now? Next up, and you only use one of these per pie. Since I'm making two, I'm going to be using two. But these are just Pillsbury Biscuits. Flatten them out however you like to. I just use my palm to get that aggression out. Pull it out a little bit after it's done. Pull it out a lot of it, actually, because you know what? I want it. How did everyone like the Young House Theater Awards, by the way? I was supposed to be there live, and then my Wi-Fi cut out at like 7 o'clock, which was horrifying. But yay, we won awards. For anyone who didn't notice, we won Nonprofit Theater of the Year. I won Screen Manager of the Year. Thank you everyone who voted for me. Chris won for Comedic Performance of the Year in I'm Your Hamlet, and I'm Your Hamlet won Long-Form Zoom Production of the Year. So very excited about all of that. Thank you so much to Ricky and Dana. Also, thank you to Andy for being there and for bothering the hosts in advance to give me some engraved awards. So that's fun.
We have more. Because Ellen won for Sound of Edinburgh. Oh, no, she was nominated.
No. Yeah. No.
There's some nominations.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so excited because it was such a good nomination.
Anyway, yeah. So these are in there. What you're gonna do is crack one egg into each pie. And as I usually do, I'm going to be taking them from the edge again, so that way it's not all lopsided and heavy when you take it out later. I hate that. I feel like I'm always going to drop it. So to keep them even with themselves, I always go from the outside in the right order. Andy is very persuasive. He's a little demon, that one. All right. Also, I don't think he'll be watching today because he and I were in the audience for SNL last night, which was super duper fun, but also exhausting. We both got home around or after 2 in the morning. It was quite a time. If any of your eggs spills over onto the edge, you can wipe it up. I'm gonna wipe it up right now, but most times I'm really not stressed about it. Really not that stressed about it, honestly. You just get bonus egg in a little cup afterwards. I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. You can do whatever you want to yours. You can add some bell peppers or some bacon or some cheese. Do what you want to do. So yeah, what you would normally do is you would put these in the oven, set to 425 for 15 to 20 minutes. Do we have that kind of time with us? No, we don't. Because we have an interview to get to. I'm going to put some of these butter and eggs away. but I preemptively made one for myself earlier today, so that way we didn't have to like stall for 15 minutes before we get into the interview. Here she is, the finished product. And look how cute she is. Look how cute she is. So yeah, super simple, super easy. Looks really classy when it's done. It looks like something that you would get at like a French little breakfast bistro that would cost like $15 for just this one thing and maybe like some cilantro on the side. So it looks really classy, super easy to make, super cute, and super tasty. So I'm gonna go set up my food over there in the little kitchen area so I can eat it. But please, while I'm doing that, please enjoy this little preview of Momenti Productions, who I will be talking to after this. Enjoy!
Is but fortune, all is fortune. Maria once told me she did affect me, and I have heard herself come thus near that should she fancy, it should be one of my complexion. Besides, she uses me with a more exalted expression and respect than anyone else. What should I think on it?
Here's an overweening rogue.
Oh, peace, contemplation, mix of rare turkey cock of him. Look, see how he jets up with his plumes.
Slight, I could so beat the rogue. Peace, I say.
To recount Malvolio.
Ah, rogue. Pistol him, pistol him.
There is
Peace,
a
peace.
The lady of the Strachey married the yeoman of the wardrobe.
Oh, fie on him, Jezebel.
Oh, peace, now he's deeply in. Look, imagination blows him.
Having been 3 months married to her, sitting in my state,
Oh, for a stone bow to hit him in the eye.
calling my officers about me in my branched velvet gown, having come from a daybed where I have left Olivia sleeping.
Fire and brimstone.
Oh, peace, peace.
And then to have the humour of state, and after a demure travel of regard, telling them I know my place as I would they should do theirs, to ask for my kinsman, Toby.
Bolts and shackles.
Peace, peace, peace. Now.
Women of my people, with an obedient start, make out for him. I frown the while, and perchance wind up my watch, or play with my some rich jewel. Toby approaches, curtsies there to me.
Shall this fellow live?
Our silence be drawn from us with cards, yet peace.
I extend my hand to him thus, quenching my familiar smile with an austere regard of control.
And does not Toby take thee a blow of the lips?
Saying, Cousin Toby, my fortunes, having cast me on your niece, give me this prerogative of speech.
What?
You must amend your drunkenness.
Out, scab.
Nay, patience, or we break the sinews of our plot.
Besides, you waste the treasure of your time with a foolish knight.
That's me. I warrant you.
One Sir Andrew.
I knew 'twas I, for many do call me fool.
Yay! Okay, please welcome to the production, Emma Schwartz. Yay! Yay! Hello.
Hello. Lovely to meet you. Your little cake looks lovely. Wish I could share it with you.
Thank you so much. So for anyone who doesn't know, please tell our audience who you are and how you are related to Momenti Productions.
Hi. Well, I founded Momenti Productions about 9 years ago, and I've created theatre. I've created a couple of short movies, and I also teach children right up from grade 5 up to high school, Shakespeare and the classics. And I also do musicals as well. But for the professional theatre, I create the classical theatre for it, and which is my love, really, my forte, I suppose. I came to the States 11 years ago. I'm from England, in Britain, and that's it, really. So that's not really it, but that's how I founded it. It's yeah.
Yeah,
So,
of course, amazing, so fun. So clearly you have pivoted to the digital age of theater. Please walk us through a little bit about how not only you came to the conclusion that this is something you either wanted or needed to do, but also just how you got started.
well, I got started because with actors and in the theatre, we without practice we can't get any better. So if we stop practicing, so it's like anything. It doesn't matter what you do as a profession. If you stop practicing, you can't improve. Or you get, even if you're really, really experienced and you stop practicing, but you don't work for a while, you get a bit lazy. You get a bit out of, and then you have to try and find yourself back in again. Yeah. So I was concerned. That was my first thing. I was concerned about that. And with the, and so I decided, I saw what the famous, The Show Must Go Online. And I was so inspired. And this was at the beginning of the lockdown last year. So it would have been around about, I think I saw the second show they did. It was either the first or the second show that they did. So it was way at the beginning of their 37 plays that they actually produced. I was just, the idea of it was just fantastic. And I'd also seen a music video of a dancer who had created the synchronicity of Zoom with dance, which was really difficult, really. And all the dancers were integrating physically together. So as a physical piece and as a acting piece, the two ideas just blew my mind. And I thought, well, we can do this. So I actually set up a meetup page, and I was like, everybody, and because I teach as well, it didn't matter what experience you were at, because I felt, if you're an experienced actor, I can move you forward, and if you're not that experienced, well, here's an opportunity during the lockdown to maybe learn something new. Yeah. So I just thought, just let it go out there and let anybody and everybody just connect and join. And the meetup page has got really well. We've got 75 members now on the meetup page, and everybody that's in the cast is from the meetup page, and they've come in, and they're all different experiences and have all different training. And so so that and I decided that the mission for the meetup page was for us to stay creative and stay in practice. Now, in order to do that, the only thing I changed that's not as similar to other companies who are doing readings of Shakespeare is, for the actor, rehearsal is one of the most important things for the actor. And so my mission was that we were definitely going to rehearse. So I wasn't going to do it in a week. Okay. So I wanted the actors to learn the lines, because that keeps the actor in practice. And also a 4-week rehearsal, 6 hours a week. So we did a 4-week rehearsal, 6 hours a week, which allowed the actors to integrate with each other. It allowed the actors to improve their ideas and talk about their characters. And so it felt not too dissimilar to an actual show that we would rehearse for 4 weeks, then put on the show. And that was the idea. Sadly, we only do one live performance though. And, you can also improve your performance the more shows you can actually do. So we don't get that opportunity, but I wanted the backstage opportunity to be in a sense more important than the actual performance, and hence the actor continues to practice and continues to train, and I don't know, continues not to be, lost in this world, in this void of technology. So that was my mission statement for this. That's my mission statement for now for my Momenti Productions.
Fantastic. And how many productions have you put on so far?
So we've done 2. We did one in December, which was 12th Night. We put As You Like It on in, gosh, I'm losing my mind now. We put As You Like It on, I think, oh, sorry, no, we put 12th Night on in September. We put As You Like It on in December. And we're in the process. We're in rehearsals now. We're coming into our second week of rehearsals for The Merchant of Venice. So that will be going live on YouTube on the 26th of March, which is a Friday at 7 p.m. And you can find us on Momenti Productions YouTube channel.
Amazing.
I did start with Facebook, but I find YouTube easier, technically, to just get on. So,
oh yeah.
And
if people subscribe to your YouTube, then they'll get the notifications that things are going to be happening. So
yes,
everyone definitely subscribe to that link that's scrolling around at the bottom of this screen. That will take you straight to Momenti Productions on YouTube, and that'll be awesome.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you.
Now, of course, with the digital world, there's a bunch of things that are big hurdles that people need to jump over in order to make theater translate online. That being said, there's also a lot of things that we could never do before that we now are capable of doing. What are honestly some of the things that you like about digital theater?
Okay, so I'm a huge pantomime fan in Britain. We have like British pantomime, and I'm a huge fan of mime, and I'm a huge fan of physical theater, and I'm a huge fan of Monty Python. Okay, the silliness of Monty Python, right? Okay, so I find with the digital theatre that we get more excuse to be really silly. Like, for example, the thing behind the trees that we had, all the bushes, we had fake bushes. That's totally my sense of humor, right? Okay. And things like if somebody, if like in As You Like It, we Rosalind who falls over. And so obviously to fall over, you're just going, ah! Right? And you're kind of coming up doing things like this, which I really love. Right. So it's really corny, but I think we get away with it. And so you can come in like this and look down like, where have they gone? Where have they gone? Right. And so I really exploit it, and I really get a lot of enjoyment. And so far I've put on comedies, Shakespeare's comedies so far. I haven't done a tragedy yet. However, The Merchant of Venice is very dark, and it's not as light, and it's a very complex play that kind of resonates very much to the life we're living in now, I suppose. I don't want to get into too much conversation about that, but as a cast, we're talking about it. I put it that way. Yeah. So that's.
So what is your selection process for figuring out? I'm so sorry, my little dog is freaking out right now because she wants.
I love dogs.
So if you hear her right now, she needs attention real bad right now. And my tech Chris trying real hard, but not good enough. What is the process that you have for selecting which production you want to do next?
Well, I did decide originally to do Hamlet, and I stopped because there are some productions that I've been working on for a while. As a director, I work on productions for a while before I go ahead. In my mind, I'm working on it, so to speak. And the idea I have for Hamlet, didn't want to put on YouTube or on Zoom. I want to put it on stage. So I started and then I stopped because my Hamlet's one of the things is also with when you're casting, I hate this, but there is an ageism kind of situation. So I want my Hamlet to be quite young in age. I want the actors to look a certain age. And I think this is the only thing that we have a problem with performance, is because we, you know, as actors, we kind of still love parts, but we're kind of growing physically out of the age of it. And so, and my ensemble group comes in all shapes and sizes and all ages. So I didn't want to start with the Hamlet. I really didn't want to start to block people from performing or because of their age. Mm-hmm. And so I decided it wasn't the most inclusive play that I could do. You know, Hamlet doesn't have to be young, by the way. That's just the way I see it. It's just my opinion on it and the way I see it. It doesn't mean I'm right. It's just the way I want to put it on. So I decided that not to do that. For my group, I decided that it was, for Merchant of Venice was correct for the people who are in the group and for the people who are joining the group. So that was my, that's how, for Zoom, that's how I treat it. For if it's live shows, it really is what I'm getting most excited about, I suppose. So like a couple of and Hamlet might be one that I'd be getting really excited about right now if I was doing live. So, you know, it's just a different way of thinking about it. And also when you're doing Zoom, I also see it as it's a mixture of shooting like a film and live TV at the same time. Because, you know, when you're, it's like, and it's not even more shooting film. It's like you're editing film. You're like shooting and editing at the exact same time. So, you know, so that's how I see it. So I kind of like, you know, you've got the mid shots. I mean, really, you can do full length shots, but it's not that easy. So it's kind of like, you know, close up or mid length shot. And then you've got, you know, and so, and how does the shot look? Can you center yourself? Can you put yourself in the middle of the camera? There's lots of that conversation going on. And I'm quite fussy about the background. I tell people how to have the background, and so there's a lot of technical stuff that is discussed, far more than Tech Week. It's like we do Tech Week every week. Yeah.
The entire process is Tech Week because you are just constantly in it.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who are struggling to create digital theater right now?
Actually, yes, I do. Everybody that's in your show, you've got to make sure that they have good sound and good lighting. That's the first one. Okay. I suggest for everybody that you do rehearsals. I really do. I think it really helps the actors get get more confident, and also feel that they're putting on something that they worked on. Yeah. I think that so I would add rehearsal. I would add more rehearsal time for sure. But that, you know, that's, and you might not have the time. Okay. I think it's very easy. And because we're working with actors, if you're working with actors, whether it's community theatre actors or whether it's professional actors or whether it's just film actors and not necessarily stage actors, you will find that every actor meets the task. Oh, one really important thing is energy. Because sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you can talk like that and not have much energy, but you've got it there. You've really got to, I feel, just like on stage, bing it. And I think it's more similar to like what you're doing, which is a presenter's energy, than if you were in a movie. You wouldn't have to give that kind of energy in a movie. But because you're mixing live with recorded, you kind of have to have the same energy a presenter would have. but with the performance of an actor, which is where the pantomime idea, the British pantomime idea, comes in with me, which is what I enjoy. Yeah, because you really need when it's live. Yeah, so that's what that would be. I'm quite detailed. I'm sorry.
That's good though. That's great. Everybody watching can like really take that advice, because that's great advice, all of it.
Yeah.
Now let's go on a little tangent here. This is something I ask every single guest. We all have our theater horror stories, be it something that happened digitally where there was a water effect that then scrambled your entire screen, or something that happened on stage in the before times where light came up while you were in the middle of a quick change on stage. We all have them. We all have these nightmares. One that I've talked about many times on this program was during a production of Midsummer Night's Dream back in 2016. It was supposed to be an all-outdoor performance, but the first 3 performances got rained out, so we did it indoors, and our final performance was finally outside. We had never run it outside in the space before. We had never rehearsed it outside the space before because of the weather. We had been warned that there were spiders in the area. We did not really know how many, and I was playing Titania, and when I fell asleep on the ground, for like the 20-minute segment that I was asleep, spiders were crawling all in my hair, on my face, into my wig, into my costume, and I had to find a way to get all of those off of me without distracting from the main event of the actual show. So that's just one of my favorites, because it's always just like, so please, if you have any horror stories to share, please feel free to share with the class.
I have too many. So I'm going to share one with you. So I was playing Hiawatha, and I had to jump off a table, and I had to jump onto this guy, who then put me on his shoulders, and then I had to go like this down an aisle while he was on his shoulders. Now, on this particular evening, and we were doing it in a black box theatre, okay, and this is in the north of England. This was in the north of England, so this was in a place called Oldham in England, and I had to. So the thing was, the director had decided to have this round wooden table, like a dining table, and he put it at the corner of the. Very close to the curtains, but the curtains were over the table, so you couldn't see it. So as the audience, you couldn't see it. So the idea was that it looked like as though I flew out of the curtains, and it was a very good idea. So it looked like I flew out the curtains and landed on this guy, specifically this way. So he turned me round and then on his shoulders. So the whole thing looked like a great illusion, like I was somehow flying. Okay. Because Hiawatha in the show was a mythical spirit that was speaking to the actors. So I always came in a mythical way. It's a kind of spiritual way. So that was the storyline. So we had about this much room to get behind the curtains, right? And I had to manage to get behind. So the curtains went all around the auditorium as well. So I managed to. I was going around the curtains like this to get to the table. And this was like the second night we did it. We were doing like 2-week show, but this was like the second night. So I get behind the curtains and I get on the table, and the table starts to wobble. And with the speed that I got on the table, the table then falls over forward, but because it's behind the curtains grabbing it. So I come out the curtains like this, right? And then leap off a falling table, because I'm just going to fall on my face. So I'm leaping off the falling table. I fall complete Hiawatha onto this guy like a fried egg that's just got crushed into a frying pan, right? and the egg's just like broken all over the place in the frying pan, right? Okay, right? So he's now wobbling back, and now he's trying to get me on his shoulders. So my arse is in front of the auditorium, and then he manages to get me round, and I just go like this. I look like a dying spider going down the auditorium. So that was kind of possibly the worst ever. And we did piss ourselves laughing at the end of it. We were backstage and we were like, oh my God. It wasn't elegant whatsoever. So, yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but of course, like, it sounds hilarious now, but I'm sure at the time when it was happening, it was the scariest thing in the world.
It was scary, but your adrenaline's going so much that you do see the humor in it. And you're like, and then you're always like, what are we doing? Where are we? What am I doing? Jumping off tables? Why am I pretending to be Hiawatha? Why am I here? So, yeah.
Merchant of Venice is May 26th, yes?
No, March 26th.
March. That's what I meant in my little head. I always get my Mays and my Marches way mixed up as it. March 26th. Is there anything that you're super excited for the audience to see in this production?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see. I am super excited to see the reaction of the show that we're directing and producing in the how they mirror themselves with the characters in the show, because I've read a lot of essays on the show, and the idea of the show is that there's this idea that as a population that Shakespeare somehow is asking us to just see how hypocritical we all are, and we are. I think we all are hypocritical at some level. And there's this idea that whoever we even like Shylock, we actually pity Shylock at the beginning of the play, but we feel that he goes too far at the end. And it's not that I'm trying to, there's no like special effects in the show or anything incredibly glamorous in the show, but I'm wondering if being on Zoom, whether when we're watching the show, how uncomfortable we feel. Do we feel more uncomfortable because it's Zoom and it's you're not on stage and you're not far away? It's more of an intimate experience. And what I'm trying to create with the Merchant of Venice is how intimate can we go with this idea that if you recognize yourself in any of these characters, does it affect you more because of the intimacy? And I also think of the TV series Shameless. You know, the idea of Shameless, how we can't stop laughing, but it's really an uncomfortable laughter. We're actually ashamed of the way we're laughing at Shameless, okay? So Shameless was a show that was on in Britain. And so I'm more familiar with the British version of the show than I am of the American. But I do know from what I've seen of the American show, it's virtually the same, with the same idea. And I feel like Merchant of Venice is the 1400 Shameless production. It's like a Shameless kind of production, but in the 1400s or the 1500s. I think it was produced in the 1500s. But you know what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if we can get that kind of feel of where you're laughing, because I really want you to laugh. I really want to keep the comedy. But how uncomfortable does it make you feel? You know. So that's really what I would. That would be a delight if I'm able to reach that. That would be an absolute delight. But we'll see. We'll see.
Is there anything else that you would like people to know about this production?
Great actors, great people, great group. We laugh every week. It's got a great feel to it, and people really want to work hard. People really, really want to work hard, and it wouldn't matter if we were doing Shakespeare or if we were doing a modern play or doing a David Hare play or whatever. Well, David Hare is our modern, but it wouldn't matter what we were doing. It's but we're doing Shakespeare, which we love all of it. So, but yeah, it's a great group of people, and it's lovely because it was a spontaneous meeting on Meetup. So I don't know if I would have met these people had I not put it up on Meetup. And that is really, really lovely. I feel I've been quite blessed with the people and the characters that have joined the group. Oh, I also do Meetup workshops as well. I do acting workshops But when we're rehearsing, I do every Tuesday or Monday, twice a month. And I also do, when we're not rehearsing, I do Thursdays twice a month. And I do, you can come in with any monologue, and we'll work as a group on your monologue. And you can give like a $5 donation if you can, if you can, you know. But other than that, it's so if you can always go to the meetup page, which is Momenti. It's called Momenti. Gosh, what's the group called? It's called Momenti Theatre. Momenti Theatre Acting Meetup Group. Momenti Theatre Group Meetup page. That's what it is. Momenti Theatre.
Perfect. Momenti Theatre Meetup. Perfect. Yes. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna send all my friends to look it up because this more community is better. We always want all the connections. So let's all work together and let's have a great time. And I'm super excited to see your merch at Venice.
Great, thank you. And anyone who's in the meetup group can just, I put all the auditions up on the meetup group, so you can just come into the meetup. You can audition, you know, for all the shows that we do. Yeah,
wonderful, amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on the program. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for inviting me. It's a great show, by the way. I've been watching you every week since you connected with me, and I connected with you. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
And we've got people in Britain watching it now because they're all watching this. This is great.
Thank you so much. And again, very much looking forward to watching your show. Very much looking forward to joining the meetup and all of that fun stuff. So yay, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yay! Oh my God, that was a very, very fun interview. I'm super stoked to see this shameless-ish merchant of Venice because that's such a great way to approach that show, and I'm very, very excited to see how that turns out. In Genny news, the submissions for my clown festival are open. You can find those in the link tree scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be a virtual festival. All details are in that link. Also, the ticket link for my Players Theater Week 1 show and my Players Theater Week 2 show. Yes, the short play fest at the Players Theater is happening. Actors will be on stage, masked and distanced. Audience will not be on stage. They will all be at home. But tickets to that are on there. If you use code CAST, you get 50% off. Next week, we have the American Shakespeare Center coming to us. Yes, having a fun time. But again, thank you again so much to Emma for coming onto the program. Momenti Productions sounds terrific. I've loved what I've seen of y'all so far. Cannot wait to see this Merchant of Venice, March 26th on YouTube. Subscribe to their YouTubes. That way you can get these notifications right away. And yeah, y'all, see you next week.